Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today, I want to talk about dads doing good in Colorado. I want to share with you about a local Facebook group called the Dads of Castle Rock. And this group does the difficult task of making Facebook fun again while also serving the community, serving neighbors in the community. And it's an example of a group that I say has both personality and intentionality. And it's not something I think we see enough of on social media, particularly Facebook nowadays. And so I've invited the group's organizer, Robert Ziering, to join me today here on Mile High Live. Welcome, everybody. I'm Aaron Johnson. I'm coming to you from Castle Rock. This is my new live streaming channel, and my goal is to provide stories that are positive on social media and also connect with people who help elevate Colorado by serving in our community and making this state a great place to live. Today's guest, Robert Ziering, who is the organizer of the Facebook group Dads of Castle Rock. He's joining me here in a moment. I've asked him to come on and share with us, what his group is about, why he created it, and really provide some examples of the good works that men in the community around Castle Rock are doing that he's helping organize through this group. So before we dive in, I just want to say to the audience as you're watching, I would love to know where you're watching from. If you enter that in the comments down below, I'm curious where people are catching this from different parts around Colorado. So with that, let me bring on Robert Ziering of Dads of Castle Rock. Robert, how are you doing?
Aaron, doing well. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on here.
Good. Well, I mean, I really appreciate you joining me. I've followed your group for quite a while. I've seen you around different Facebook groups on social media, but you and I have not had the chance to meet yet. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to get together, even through a virtual opportunity, and hang out and chat for a few minutes. So. Um, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself personally, but then also, how do you describe your group, Dads of Castle Rock, and what you're trying to accomplish?
Well, I'm just ordinary dad. Um,
Cool.
as that kind of goes with the name, I'm a dad. I've got a 10-year-old daughter. Live here in Castle Rock. Construction worker by trade. So
Okay.
it's kind of two different realms for me. You go from playing in the dirt all day to running a nonprofit and trying to do the best you can around town, and definitely two different lifestyles. And I'm pretty happy with the way that they've blended together.
That's cool.
Um,
Yeah. How would you describe your group? And I see it on Facebook, but is it bigger than that? How have you set this up?
uh, the group in general, wow. We're everything. I mean, we've got
Okay.
dads of all different backgrounds, dads of all different trades, office workers, construction workers, dentists. Um, that's what I love about this group is it's not one kind of dad. We're a good mix of everything. Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of, we go from doing everyday dad stuff, and that's kind of the really good thing about this group is we do a lot of you hear about a lot of the good stuff we do in the community, but what
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't see in the background is just the support we have for each other. I mean, gosh, we can with one post rally the dad troops and really come together for each other, and whether that be a community event or a fundraiser, or hey, there's a dad in need who works construction and is getting ready to change his career field and go to the office and doesn't have a tie and t-shirt. I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, there's whatever need is out there, we're there for each other and we're there for the community.
Great. What I see is it's a place, at least online on Facebook, to connect. One, right? Just connect with dads or other men around our community here in Castle Rock, which I think, there's a lot to be said about that in the last year around COVID, but even before that, just, as we live such busy lives, increasingly busy lives. So I want a place to connect. Of course, with dads, you can't avoid the stupid dad jokes, right? So there's a fair
Absolutely.
share of those that are being
Yep.
shared. A bunch of ridiculous memes, a debate about how you use the diesel gas pump, right?
All day, every day. Yep.
That's right.
That is a
So,
familiar conversation.
and then of course, ways to for men in the community to find ways to step up and help each other out and help their neighbors out. So whether it's a guy that needs something, like you say, a career transition, or they have a project going on around their yard or their house that's too big for them to tackle, or some of the projects that you guys support. And I want to get to those here in a minute as well. Okay, so what was your inspiration in setting up this organization?
So the inspiration, it's a common story. It kind of, we started as a joke. I was on meandering around on other on Facebook, but other community pages, and all you ever heard about was Moms of Castle Rock
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
other, mom groups.
Mm-hmm.
There was never anything dad related. So, there came the light bulb. Why don't we have a dad group? And at that point, we didn't know what it was going to turn into for sure. It went from, starting a group to, oh my God, 3 weeks later, you've got 600 members and guys are meeting up to grab drinks and meeting up to kind of hang out with each other and grow friendships. And it just took a crazy hurricane of a twirl from there. It
Yeah.
definitely, what you see now is, I wouldn't say it wasn't the intentions because we just didn't know what was going to happen, but it's a whole different ball game for us now.
Okay. So it's evolved as you've gone
Oh,
along. Yeah, totally.
several times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with some of the groups that you've talked about, with some of the mom groups around Castle Rock. My wife's been a member of several of those, although she hasn't been on Facebook for probably really the past year. Has gotten
Right.
off that. And so, yeah, I think you're right. There wasn't a dad's group, and there were several moms groups that got started up. And what she noticed and she shared with me over time was how those groups, uh, you know, one would start up really great intentions, and then the conversation within the feed would start to devolve for whatever reason. I'm not going to dive into why those are,
Right.
but it's social media. Use your imagination, right? There's a number
Yep.
of reasons why things can devolve, and then ladies would go form another group and try to create that positive experience, and it's kind of this snowball effect kept happening. So how do you then, with Dads of Castle Rock, like, how do you keep it positive? How do you not devolve into the muck that is social media these days, and just keeping it
So,
positive?
right, definitely. And don't I will not lie about it. When we first started Dads of Castle Rock, it was a free for all. There were no rules. It was a say what you feel, say what you mean, post what you want. I think our one rule when we very first started was if you don't like what you're seeing, keep scrolling. I mean, it went from that to, as you said, it evolved. We started getting more community driven, and with that comes change. So rules had to be implemented, and God, with the last year that we've had, more rules had to be implemented, and there
Mm-hmm.
just wasn't a topic over the last year that didn't start a firestorm of some sort. Like I said, we've got dads of
Yeah.
all different belief systems, so you had to cut down a lot of your core subjects that really just were driving dads apart instead of bringing us together.
Okay. Well, I think that you're doing a good job of that. I know it's
Thank you.
a difficult task, but from what I see, particularly lately, it is positive. There's a lot of engagement, and I think it is a place for guys to come together and try to help each other out, help others out, and have some fun while doing it, right? But yeah, I mean, it's
Definitely.
our nature with social media. We're trained, and I'm super guilty of this too.
Yeah.
I'd be the first to admit it. Yeah, I've helped feed that monster,
Oh yeah.
but
Yep.
let's it's 2021. Let's find some new ways to do this. So I think one of the great things that you're doing with Dads of Castle Rock is serving in the community, and so it's the place to connect, place to have fun, joke around with each other, but a place to connect. I'm sorry, a place to serve the community. So are there some examples of projects that you guys have supported financially with manpower that you guys are working on? I mean, I guess one that comes to mind is a project around helping an autistic child or a group of autistic children around the community. um, can you share a little bit about that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it definitely, I mean, that's right now, that's been our biggest project.
Okay.
The camp is called Williams World, and it's going to be a camp for autistic teens and autistic children. And it's really just a place for them to kind of get away, um, and, get outdoors and enjoy everything outdoors and relax and be kind of out of their normal daily element.
Okay.
Um, we have been talking to the owner, Hannah, and it started off with just
Mm,
building the swings that you see in the picture, and it's morphed into something much more. She was struggling. They had grants and they had the money to do these things, but during COVID they didn't have anybody to make it happen, make it come to life. And
sure.
you've got a couple thousand dads on your side, and this is kind of the fruit of that labor. We came together and we built that, and it was ran by one of our dads, Casey. He,
Okay.
you know, put everything together for this, and scheduled us out, and he's done an awesome job. Can't say enough good things about him. And it's all starting to come together, and I think we got a couple weekends left over there, and it'll be ready for some kids.
That's great. Well, it's a little
Yeah,
probably a little muddy over there with the snow
yeah.
and the rain
The
that we've
weather's been
had here
fun.
this week, but uh, no, that sounds like a really great project, and it's nice that look at these guys. I mean, just be able to come together, help,
Yeah,
with some sweat equity to help
absolutely.
piece this together for these kids. That's very meaningful. Are there any other projects that you guys, you know, the, you guys are
I
working on or
wouldn't.
have worked on that
We've
stand out?
kind of had, that's been kind of the one fun thing about this. When you
Yeah.
think nonprofit, it's usually pretty, uh, I don't know, tunnel vision on a certain subject, whether that be, I don't know, kids or homelessness or whatever the instance may be. The one fun thing about this group has been we've been all over the place. I mean, we had a 9-year-old girl who lost her father the previous year before, and this was her first birthday without dad around. So we came
Wow.
together, and there was about 30 of us that went and we decorated her house while she was inside. And the next morning she got to wake up to decorations all over, and just kind of us letting her know that dad may not be there, but there's a couple thousand dads thinking of you today. And we've done that. We had a 1-year-old boy named Knox who had cancer, and we had a pancake breakfast for him and his family. And we raised a bunch of money for him, and got to kind of lift that family up,
Mm,
during their time of need. Um, we've done now 2 consecutive adoptive families for Christmas. And I think this last year we raised, I want to say, just
mm.
over or just shy of $15,000 for
Wow.
16 families. So yeah, we got to take, and that was really fun. We got to take 15 families shopping, and they got to, we it's a lot of fun because
Yeah.
we fundraise, which a lot of people kind of think is a chore, but we have fun fundraising, and then we get to throw it for good causes.
Mm-hmm.
We put it right back into the community that we care about, with families that we care about, and really just, it's a ton of fun fundraising money and then being able to spend it on other people and make them smile.
That's cool. Is there a
Yeah.
particular project that like stands out to you that's had the biggest impact on you personally?
Me personally,
Yeah.
God, they've all been a ton of fun.
It's like picking a favorite child, right?
It is. I'd say the adoptive family for
Okay.
me. I never, thank God I wasn't put in a tough situation as a kid, but I could only imagine, you know, not knowing if you're going to wake up and have presents under your tree, or
Sure.
God, now that I'm a dad, I couldn't imagine going to bed at night thinking of my kids' faces waking up to not having anything under the tree. So to really
Hmm.
be able to be there and contribute towards making that not happen for a kid or for their parents is just awesome. I mean, that just best day of my life every day for those days.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I can imagine. So, um, okay, so I saw last week you spoke at a gala event. Which one? It's great that there's actually events going on. Again,
Yep.
um, can you share a little bit about that? Like, was it? Did you guys get an award or just recognition from the organization that you supported?
So we worked with one of our dad members. He runs a catering business, and obviously they took a hit during COVID. So they
Yeah.
decided to turn. His name's Luke, and they
Okay.
decided to turn their um, catering business during COVID time into a. I want to say he's a nonprofit, but they turned it into a feed the frontline workers service. So
Oh.
which
Okay.
worked well for us because we had gone and we'd rallied. I think we had like 200 cars. We went and we took over the parking lot of the Castle Rock Adventist Hospital during the midst of the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
and we showed up with Castle Rock Police Department and a couple of the fire department vehicles, and we just made a bunch of noise and honked horns. They ran their sirens and just really showed our support for 5 straight minutes. Had a bunch of hospital workers come out during that 5 minutes, teary eyed, supporting each other. They really just needed to pick me up during that time. And Biscuits and Berries, Luke's catering company, they came in and they brought dinner for all the hospital workers. And it was an awesome event just to be able to see. I mean, there were American flags flying, there were people just rallying around community members. And so we made an event out of that, and that's what that speech was about. We were invited
Okay.
there
Okay.
and sponsored that event. Which, a little fun fact about me, I am like the most anxious, nervous person when it comes to public speaking. So that for me, I was up there kind of shaking, and it was, I talk to people
Yeah.
every day, and I can talk to, you face to face for 30 minutes without knowing you, but put me in front of 10 strangers and I turn into a
You got
quivering
to perform. You
Greek
feel like you got to
pan. Yep,
perform, right? Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Everybody's staring at you. Okay, do something
Yep,
exciting. Yeah.
right,
Like, no,
right.
I hear you.
Stumbling over my words, and yeah, I'm a mess.
Oh, that's great. Um, this is cool. Well, I appreciate it, and good on you guys for doing that, and for Luke
Definitely.
and his team for helping put that together. I'm sure that meant quite a lot to the workers over at the hospital there. Yeah,
Yes.
times were tough for them for sure.
Yep.
So that's good. Awesome. So how I guess how do you guys pick projects that you support either financially or with man hours? Are there certain things that you guys look for as you do that, or just pretty open to what comes around?
Like I said before, we're kind of all over the place. We're not focused on one thing. It's kind of funny, and I tell this to people a lot. When we first started,
Hmm.
I would have to, and kind of some of our lead guys, we would have to like actively search for people in need or a cause that
Hmm.
needed to, be supported. My God, I can't wake up a morning these days without having, like somebody that's in need or that's reaching out, or our events team, Tanner and Jason Bushy, those guys
Okay.
are constantly looking for a reason to, throw some sort of event, which is awesome. And, just nowadays we just kind of see what comes at us. We now do $1,500 grants for people that we've got a benevolence request that people will have to go and fill out. You know, camper burns down or something that put them in a tough spot. We do have an application for them to fill out, and we've got a fund that we can, it goes to our vetting team. We make sure that I mean, nowadays you have to make sure causes are legitimate. So you go and you
Yeah, yeah.
make sure it's a legitimate cause, and, we can help people out and are able to help out a lot more people these days than we were a couple of years ago, for sure.
Okay. Where can people find that information online if they're
So
in need?
so they can reach out to me or to one of our board members, and we can get that to them. It will be on our website,
Okay.
docrco.org.
Okay.
We're in the process of getting that onto our website for people to be able to reach freely.
Okay. And same for people that want to support Dads of Castle Rock and your mission, what you guys are all doing, uh, either with man hours, sweat equity, or if they can open up their wallet and contribute, they can go to that same site as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Same thing. If you want to reach out to me, I believe we now have a donate button on our website. So they can check that out as well. As far as man hours goes, when we have these projects, we can definitely use the help.
Yeah.
We just 2 weeks ago, or not 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry, this last weekend, we adopted a highway here in town. So we had our
Okay.
first highway cleanup. So we had dad volunteers out there cleaning up a stretch of 85, 86. I get my highways mixed up. But out towards Parker Road by terrain. And, if you want to help, reach out to me. I think we've got a financially donate button, but I don't think we
Okay.
have a volunteer button on there just yet.
Okay.
But reach out to us. We'll take you in.
That's cool. Okay. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for sharing all of that.
Definitely.
So I want to ask just a few wrap up questions here, then I'll let you go. And questions I want to ask all of my guests just to kind of, have some commonality, but also get a sense, who you are, what you like. Just some very, quick questions. So how long have you lived in Colorado?
In Colorado, I think
Yeah.
I'm coming up on year 16 in Colorado.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
a little less than half my life.
Okay, excellent. And in your opinion, what would you say makes Colorado such a great place to live?
The people, the
Mhm.
beauty, the mountains. Where I grew up, I couldn't see the mountains. So now, I travel for work and I'm lost if I can't see the mountains. And it's the mountains for sure, being outdoors, the weather, um, now
Yeah,
community. Gosh, really just the way I've seen this community rally together, the people in the community. Love it.
cool. Okay, lightning round, three questions. Favorite mountain town to visit?
Breckenridge.
Excellent. Do you prefer, now we're getting into the summer, get outdoors, do you prefer camping in a tent, an RV, or staying in a hotel?
Ooh, RV.
RV, okay. And
Yes.
can you name one movie filmed in Colorado?
Put me on the spot. The Shining.
Perfect.
The
Okay.
old fail safe Shining.
Okay, good. All right, there you go, folks. That's it. Robert's hearing from Dads of Castle Rock. Robert, can you give us your website again, your web address?
DOCRCO, Dads of Castle Rock, Community Outreach.org.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you for spending a few minutes with me here chatting. Look forward to seeing more on Dads of Castle Rock and, participating in some of the stupid dad jokes that go on and helping support what you guys are doing to support the community and helping out neighbors around us. I think it's really awesome what you guys are doing. It's a great example of making social media social again, making it positive, and a very good example. I think we wish we could see more of what you guys are doing, and I think it's perfect. So that's why I wanted to bring you on. Really appreciate your time this evening, man.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Thank you. Can I just say one last thing?
Yeah, please.
If you drive a gasoline vehicle, will you please not block the diesel pump? Thank you.
So okay, don't park right in front of the green pump. There you go.
Yes, had to get that one in there.
Perfect. I slide it in there at the end. Sweet. All right. Have a great night, man.
Cool. You too. Thank you.
Later. All right, folks, there you have it. Robert Zering from the Dads of Castle Rock. Like I said, I think that it's a really good example of how to make social media positive and an example of where people can go to build community and help out the neighbors that are around them. So I hope that you have found this conversation helpful and learned something new today. If Dads of Castle Rock sounds like a group that you would be interested in supporting, do me a favor, hit yes or no, click yes or no. I'm sorry, type yes or no down below in the comments, and would love to know. But also, are there groups that you think are positive on social media, Facebook or YouTube or whatever other social media platforms that you prefer? Enter that down below. We'd love to know, places for, other people to go to engage more positively on social media. And of course, if you could hit that like and subscribe button right there down below, appreciate that. And, tune in to catch more interviews that I'm doing with people from around Colorado who help elevate our state and make it a great place to live. Hey, I'm Aaron Johnson, and I appreciate you spending a little bit of time watching me. And until next time, see ya.